packed with nutrition, ready when you need them most. Hearty breakfasts, savory dinners, hot, satisfying food for your whole family. With a shelf life of up to 25 years, you store it once and forget about it until the day you need it. Just add water. In minutes, you've got a hot, delicious meal. No refrigeration, no fuss, no panic. Hurricanes, blackouts, job loss, supply shortages, whatever comes, you'll be ready. Don't wait for the next emergency to wish you'd prepared. Visit worldviewstore.com. That's worldviewstore.com or call 901-825-0652. That's 901-825-0652.
A teen in her native Iran. She escaped to America and is an advocate for women and girls suffering under Sharia. Ms. Cyrus is with AccuNews News and is the producer of the Glazoff Gang. Her website is liveuptofreedom.com.
Good evening. Thanks for being here. As I normally say, it takes courage to be here. For me and for you. Because unfortunately, based on 8 years of misinformation, in this beautiful country, we're standing where the truth is punished by violence. I was born and raised in Islamic Republic of Iran, and it's very important to always say Islamic Republic of Iran. Reason for that, I come from a country with a very beautiful culture, a very beautiful history. But in 1979, an Islamic revolution took place, and my birthplace went from what was known as mini America in Middle East to Islamic Republic of Iran. Within 90 days, every single right and freedom was taken away from especially women. Within 60 days of the revolution, it was mandatory for every single woman to wear the hijab. Mandatory, not a choice. And it wasn't because back then the former supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khomeini, just wanted to do this. No, it was mandatory because in Quran, it is mandatory. In Quran, it has been mentioned, and it has been said, "O Muhammad, tell your wives," not wife, wives, "and the believing woman to cover themselves and wear part of their headscarf down to their chests, so they will be known and not be abused." Based on that, if you don't wear the hijab in Islamic countries where Sharia rules, you might be abused, and you are at fault for that. I was born in that country after that revolution, which means I was born into 100% Sharia constitution. And I was also born into an Islamic family. My father was a sheikh, which is a step higher than an imam. And my mother was a teacher of Quran, and also she would teach other women how to be a devoted Muslim woman. I lived the first 15 years of my life in Iran. I escaped. I came legally to America. And as I'm standing here, I am a proud American citizen. I am 33 now, almost 34 actually. And I can tell you, when I came to this beautiful country, I came with one promise. and that was freedom. And I don't have it today. I don't. The reason I don't have it today is because those who have the power decided to manipulate and sugarcoat what Islam and Sharia stand for. So even though I came to this country to have a better future and to have a family and, grow old, I decided it's time for me to go back to where I ran from, which was Islam and Sharia. Because if I don't come out, and if I don't tell you that at age 9 in my country, they put a white burqa. For those of you who may not know what is a burqa, it's the one that looks pretty much like a trash bag, covers the whole thing, just see the face. They put me on one of those with all other students at my school who turned 9. They took us into a place like here. I mean, forgive me, not like a church. I mean, a room like here. And there was an imam on a stage, and he went on saying, starting now, under Islam, you're all adult women. Starting tomorrow, you will be responsible for your actions. You will face consequences. You will follow Muhammad, and you will die fighting for Allah. 9 years old, every single one of us. The entire country did that specific day. Any little girl at age 9 went to one of those rooms and was informed that starting right now, she's not a little girl anymore. She's an adult woman. Oh, important part. You also will get married if your father decide for you to get married. If I don't stand here and I tell you, my father decided for me to get married, and he sold me when I was at the end of my 13, getting close to my 14, to a man, and in return he received $50. He received American dollar, and a worth of a month of opium use for his use. If I don't tell you this, you would most probably think child marriage or child bride is a cultural thing. No, it isn't. It's an Islamic thing. It is authorized by Allah and practiced by the perfect man, which is Muhammad. He had a wife who was 6 years old. Well, yes, he didn't consummate the marriage until she was 9. But because of that, and because in Quran Allah said, we sent you Muhammad the prophet, the perfect example of a man, so you do what he does, to this day, a Muslim man can marry a little girl as young as an hour old and can consummate that marriage at age 9. I was close to my 14, but I can tell you, it doesn't matter. I could be 9, I could be 5, I could be 14. The worst part of it is the feeling when you stare at your father. I know America. I know the beautiful culture here. I know a father would die for his daughter. But I had a father who handed me to this man to make Allah happy. Not only he didn't protect me, he put me purposely on harm's way. And if you think my father was the only man who decided to do that, no. In average, every single day, between 5 to 7 little girls are being sold in Islamic countries. Every single day. Because there are so many people who want to believe that there's a heaven for them. And if they sell their little girls to a man, they will buy a spot for themselves there. I personally don't believe in that heaven. Technically, I'm not an ex-Muslim. By definition, they call me ex-Muslim because I was born in an Islamic country. In Islamic country, you don't have a choice. When you're born, they will stamp your birth certificate as a Muslim. But when on that day at age 9, in that room, when the Imam was done talking, they got us all up and said, say the Shahada. Shahada is when you officially convert to Islam and you basically admit that there's no God but Allah and Muhammad is the only prophet. I didn't say it. There was too many people talking. Nobody noticed I'm not saying it. Because somewhere in my head, I knew there is no way God would tell my father or any other father to do this, to cause rape on their little girls so they can go to heaven. I was lucky. I was fortunate to somehow know this. I don't know how I knew it. But there are so many people who don't. There are so many Muslims that if you ask them if they read the Quran, they will say no. They haven't. They only read the parts their imam and leaders tell them to read. But I actually have read the Quran. By around age 5, I had the Quran memorized. I had no idea what I was saying. I just had it memorized because my mom would drag me with her to all these classes where she started, she would teach Quran. But then when I went to school, starting 2nd grade, they say mandatory, you have to learn Arabic because you need to learn Quran because you need to say the prayer. I raised my hand and said, quick question. So you're telling me Allah who created this is not bilingual? All he got is Arabic? I got 3 days suspension. Later on, I started reading the Quran for myself. I came to the first surah, which every Muslim, ask any of them. Ask them if they do their prayer. They say yes. It's 5 times a day. The entire thing is 20 times. So they repeat the first surah of Quran 20 times. And the very last verse of this surah, forgive me, I'm just a messenger, refers to all Jews and Christians as the cursed people. So every Muslim, radical or not, extremist or not, lovely or not, moderate or not, 20 times a day calls everyone in this room people who were cursed by Allah. I think that was the first time I stood and I'm like, wait, what? So Allah says, I created everyone equally, but then decided to curse some of his creation, question mark. Moving forward, when my father sold me, took him 5 minutes to sell me, 5 minutes. First I cried, then I begged, then I asked him why. He brought the Quran and put it in front of me. He went to the 4th surah of Quran and he read, where he is in charge of me. Because I have half the brain and he's got the full brain. Then when the so-called husband started beating me non-stop, I went to my father. I said, he's beating me. He brought back the Quran. 4th surah, read. Allah says, if you think, you don't need to have any proof, you just think that your wife is going to disobey you, first warn her, then separate your bed, then beat her until she obeys you. He's not doing anything illegal. Go home. So I kept reading the Quran. The more I read, the more I realized, oh my God, who is this Allah? Everything, every word, every single verse of this book is teaching nothing but hate. Yes, I'm not here to spread hate. I love everybody. I would say, I think it's fair to say, after what I've been through, and let me just quickly give you a recap. I was put in prison, I was lashed, I was beaten, I was raped, and I was sold to marriage. I think after all that, by age 15, I would have every right to hate everybody. But no, I want to love everybody. But the problem is, how do I love someone who is reading this book, where the book tells him to sell your daughter, to beat your wife, and also, by the ways, just in case if you're not happy with one wife, you can get the second one, third one, hey, get the fourth one. An unlimited rental wife, also known as, sex slaves. How can someone read this book and expect me to love him? Because he doesn't love himself. Where does love come from? I gotta love me before I can love you. And if this man is willing to follow these orders, it's impossible for him to have any love for himself. So, again, I don't hate them. I pray for them. I do. I talk to many of them. Those who tell me they have never read the Quran, I actually tell them, please do me one favor. And I will also ask you, please grab the Quran, and I don't expect you to go through the whole thing. Just read the 4th surah of Quran. It's called An-Nisa, the woman. 176 verses. Allah took the time to have a full surah to tell a man to count a woman as nothing. No respect. Nothing but a property like I was. I was nothing but a property to my father. That's why he sold me. Read that surah and do what I do. When you talk to a Muslim, ask them if they read that surah. If they haven't, advise them to read it. Because any human, anyone who reads that surah will come back asking questions, which is not allowed in Islam. Because I did. I asked questions, and I was left with a lot of bruises and a lot of broken bones. You're not allowed to question. But the only way for all of us to be able to live in peace and harmony is to be able to wake every single, as you mentioned, every single Muslim who's a victim of Islam. If we wake them up, if they realize what they're following, they stop following it. If this so-called religion has no follower, then there is no religion. It's done. This is not going to happen with hate. I agree. It doesn't need a war. No, it needs education. Everybody needs to read this Quran. With all of that being said, I will leave you with this. I was very, very fortunate. For the rest of my life, wherever my life goes, I will be grateful that I survived. Even though they broke me into pieces, they shattered me to pieces, I was able to build myself back up and have the opportunity to stand here and give you my life story. But please remember, every single day, there is at least one Aynaz Cyrus left behind. And when they go to sleep, they always pray that all of us will do something to save them. So as long as we are quiet, we are no answer to their prayers. Please get educated and then start educating other people. Speak out. Love everyone, but speak out. This is a danger, not just for us Americans. This is a danger to human society. And if I know one thing about everyone in this room, you all have your humanity. That's why you're sitting here. I know you love America, but I think beyond that, you love human society. Thank you so much.
Life is too short to spend a single moment spinning in laundry worries. Take a load off your mind with the all-new Norwex Powerzyme laundry detergent. This natural detergent harnesses the power of enzymes and plant-based surfactants to leave fabrics fresh and clean without fillers, brighteners, synthetic fragrances, bleach, or harsh chemicals. So go ahead, have your cake and eat it too. More than ever, stressful stains have met their match. Powerzyme's fast-acting enzymes break down organic substances while natural surfactants loosen locked-in dirt and oil, removing residue, stains, and odors with ease. With 91% bio-based ingredients, this dermatologist-tested hypoallergenic formula is suitable for sensitive skin types and delivers a safe and effective clean that won't harm you or the planet's waterways. Less time spent worrying about laundry means you can focus on what truly matters. Norwex Powerzyme Laundry Detergent. Discover the power of nature and load up on confidence.
I won't be giving you a speech. I will not give you any research, any numbers, any politics, or anything that is popular. I will probably ruin many of your moods, and I apologize, but I have to do it. So I will be giving you a testimony for those of you who may not know me or didn't get the chance to read my bio. I was born and raised in Islamic Republic of Iran, also known as Iran. And yes, I did ran. I was born after the revolution when the country was 100% Islamic and under Sharia. My father was a sheikh, which is a step higher than an imam. My mother was a devoted Muslim wife who was teaching Quran and Islam to other women. At age 9, by government and my family, I was called a woman, a full adult woman. And no, that wasn't because Khomeini, the supreme leader, just felt like that's a good thing to do. No. He made that a law because it is a law in Sharia, and the Hadith, and every teaching book. I was arrested, put in prison, and lashed at age 11 because I was sitting in the front seat, passenger side of a cab. And taxi driver said I had a relation with him. And I said I didn't. The judge took his word over mine because in Quran, 4th surah says, a woman counts as a half a man. Therefore, her testimony counts as a half of a person. So I had to bring in another woman or a man to confirm my story. Well, we were alone in the cab, I couldn't do that. So I took 25 lashes. Then I got kicked out of school. And by the way, I was a very smart student. At an IQ of 138, I was accepted to a very special program in Iran for gifted students who are smart, I guess. But they kicked me out because my father did not want me to continue going to school. So he didn't come to register me. I begged them and they said, well, your guardian, male guardian, is not signing the paper. So we know you're smart and we know you want to become a dentist, which I never did, but get out. Then I started speaking out. I started telling my father that I don't understand why he gets to tell me what to do. So he told me to go and read the 4th surah of Quran. I did. I got my answer there because Allah told my father that he is in charge of me. And because I only have half a brain, I can't make the right decision, so he's gonna have to make it for me. Moving forward, I was 13, close to my 14, so let's just say I was 14. One day I was told, you're about to become a wife of this man. There's a man. Yep, I did. I didn't know back then, but then later when I came to America, I learned the word that is used for it is, I was a child bride. I didn't have a say on it. I tried, and I took a good beating for that. This man took me for close to 15 months. He raped me over and over. He beat me for any reason or not. If he didn't like what I did, he would beat me. If I wouldn't say anything back to him, he would beat me. Almost every major bone in my body was broken by him. If I didn't have a bruised eye, I would have a dislocated shoulder. He would find something to do. So I went back to my father and I said, Dad, would you please get me a divorce because this guy's beating me? He referred me back to 4th Surah in Quran, where Allah says, if you think, you don't need to know, you just think that your wife is not going to obey you, first warn her, then separate your bed, then beat her until she obeys you. And just for the record, in Islamic Republic of Iran, when you start going to school, second mandatory language to learn is Arabic. So I was taught Quran in Arabic. I didn't read the sugar-coated English version of it. So I decided to take things, to someone more powerful than my father. One day when he beat me, with a dislocated shoulder, bruised eye, and a bloody lip, I walked into a court. I went to a judge and I said, Your Honor, you need to save me. This man will kill me one way or another. One day he's going to beat me until I'm dead. And I'm 15 years old, by the way. Not this one, this one. He looked me in the eyes and said, well, young lady, maybe you should start obeying your husband. Now go home and make him happy. So I went back home. And that was the moment I realized, you know what? I live in a country that everybody knows as the moderate Islamic country. Everybody look at the pictures of our women online and say, hey, they're wearing makeup. Hey, their hijab isn't full burqa. They're not wearing the niqab. So they're free society. And I could be killed here and nobody would even know. And nobody's going to do anything about it. I was able to save myself. Thanks to my grandmother, I was smuggled out of the country. I became a refugee, respectfully waited my term until I was accepted to America, which I came in legally, and then later I became a proud American citizen. Thank you. But, there are so many little 14-year-olds Annie Cyruses left behind. To this day, every day, there's a little girl who's being called a woman at age 9 and then is being sold off to a marriage. And I would like to say again, this isn't politics. This didn't happen to me because some radical Muslim was in my country. This didn't happen because someone was a lone wolf. It happened because the Constitution of Islamic Republic of Iran is completely, solely, 100% taken from verses of Quran. Not even a hadith, not a sunnah, the actual verses of Quran. So I understand it's an awkward conversation to have. I know it's hard to look someone like me in the eye and ask what happened. It might be even harder to go home and remember something like that happened to someone you met today. But this is where the problem starts. We don't talk about it. And now, thanks to things like M103, even if we want to, we won't be able to talk about it. Under Sharia, every single day in Middle East, Europe, North America, everywhere, there is a little girl who's being tortured. Either it's a female genital mutilation, or it's the child bride, or it's the rape. And it's all sanctioned by the book. An imam isn't just giving a fatwa so we can say, this guy's taking it to the extreme level. It's in the book. I had Quran memorized at age 5. Not because I wanted to. As I said, my mom taught Quran and she would carry me everywhere, drag me here and there. As a little kid, it just started, staying there. I ask everyone to go and read the Quran. I understand it's hard, it's time consuming. Just go read the 4th surah of Quran. It only has 176 verses. I don't understand how we are okay with even a term, Islamophobia. English is my 4th language, but I'm almost positive phobia comes from an irrational fear. I fear Islam not because I'm irrational, no, because I was raped, I was sold, I was broken into pieces, and I had to build myself back up. So that is a very rational fear. And if every single person, either if you're involved with it, if you experienced it or not, go read the source. Just look how you can be okay with the fact that there is a possibility of a religion that will sanction and allow a treatment of a woman the way it does in the 4th surah of Quran. Allah took the time to make sure to have a complete surah to make sure that there is no, forget about equality, not a single right for a woman. And if we allow anything like M103 to go further than it is, then all those little girls who are being sold out today, who are being mutilated today, they will have no hope because we can't even defend them. Because we can't come out here and say, they need us. I will leave you with one thing. As I said, I survived and I'm grateful. Every night when you go to bed, remember, there's a little girl somewhere praying for you to wake up and do something. Thank you.
Well, hello everybody. It's Aynaz Cyrus. Welcome to my art studio where all the magic happens. This is the station for painting, and that is the station for all the resin art I do. If you want to check out my art, all you gotta do is go to lutfstudio.com. But I'm sure, for at least I hope, I'll see you at lutfstudio.com.
Is Aynaz Cyrus, if I'm pronouncing that correctly? Cyrus, I'm sorry. She's an Iranian American, and she's on an anti is Aynaz Cyrus. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Cyrus, I'm sorry. She's an Iranian American, and she's on an anti-Sharia tour, and she has quite a story to tell us. So, Amy, like, come on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here. Before I get started, I quickly want to mention something. I'm about to share my life story with you, part of my life story, and I want you all to know everything I'm about to share was a question for me myself when it happened. So I kept asking questions of why this is happening and why am I going through what I'm going through, and every single person involved with it referred me back to Quran, Holy Book of Islam. I won't read you too many verses to bore you with it, but everything that happened to me or happens to 99.9% of women under Sharia comes directly from Quran. So these aren't just some bad experiences because I dealt with some radical people. No, it happened because Quran said it should happen. With that being said, I was born and raised in the Islamic Republic of Iran. It is very important not to say Iran or Iran. You always have to say Islamic Republic of Iran. Reason: 1979, there was a revolution. Ayatollah Khomeini hijacked the revolution and turned the country into Islamic country. Starting that moment, the constitution changed into Sharia, being a combination of Quran, Hadith, which is stories of Muhammad, and Sunnah, which is life of Muhammad and how he lived life. Every law in the country comes from those three sources. I was born after the revolution, therefore I was born into the Islamic society of it. On top of that, my father was a sheikh. Sheikh is a step higher than imam. So he was kind of a lawmaker, Islamic lawmaker. So I suffered under Sharia at home, and I suffered under Sharia in society. When I was about 9 years old, I got an invitation from a school to an event, ceremony, where they put me in this hijab or burqa, color white, and they took me into a place where the ceremony was taking place. It was called Requirement Day, and as soon as I walked in, there are a lot of other 9-year-old girls. At the same time, in every city of the country, this ceremony is taking place. An imam came up, started preaching, talking, citing Quran, and he went on saying, starting right now, all of you 9-year-old girls under Sharia are adult women. You will obey Sharia, you will follow Muhammad, you will die or kill in the name of Allah. You are responsible for your actions, you will face consequences. And on top of all of that, if your male guardian, being either your father, your father's father, or your brother, if your male guardian decide that it's time for you to get married, you will do so. I'm not going to even try to tell you how I felt because that's very complicated. But one thing was definitely on my mind. In a split second, I need to switch from being a little girl into being an adult woman. Starting that moment, I was put in prison for a crime such as singing loudly in public, unknowingly, but my hair showing from my hijab behind, had nail polish on, went to a party when girls and boys were in the same room, and on, you get the picture. It was all very, I was a bad girl committing crimes. So I was put in prison, I was lashed, I was raped, and by the time I reached age 14, close to 14, since I was a bad girl, bringing too much shame to the family, my father decided it's time to get rid of me. So I became what's known as a child bride. He told me I am going to be married off to this guy. Never met the guy until that moment. And that was that. I cried, I begged, I tried to fight my way out of it, and then I simply ended up saying, well, why? Why can you do that to me? And that was when my father said, well, open the Quran
go to chapter 4 and look at verse 3, where Allah said, you can marry an infant girl if you can pay for her the same amount you would pay for an adult woman. He's paying good money. My price was 50 American dollars, exactly American dollars. He received American dollars. And some opium so he could feed his habit for a month. And that was the moment I realized, yes, I am a property, because I was just sold by my father, who's supposed to protect me, who's supposed to die for me. The man who bought me used me as a punching bag. For whatever excuse he could find, he would beat me. He would rape me every day. Until one day I went back to my father and said, Dad, can you please get him to stop beating me? He referred me back to Quran, chapter 4. By the way, chapter 4 is the woman, name of the chapter, where it says, if you think your wife is going to disobey you, warn her, separate your bed, then beat her until she obeys you. So if you don't obey, beat her until she's not breathing anymore. So, one day I decided I'm going to just protect myself. He was done beating me, he left. I had a dislocated shoulder, bloody lip, bruised face, went to court, walked in, looked at the judge, said, Your Honor, you have got to save me because this man is going to kill me at some point. And please keep in mind, I am 15 years old, not this adult woman. He looked me in the eye, said, Young lady, maybe you should start obeying your husband so he doesn't have to beat you. Now go home and make him happy. And that was the moment I realized that's it. It's either he's going to kill me or he's going to kill me. Nobody's going to protect me, nobody's going to defend me. Why? Because nobody dares question Allah, Muhammad, or Sharia, or the Islamic regime. So lucky me, I had a grandmother who got me out of the country, got me smuggled out of the country, went to Turkey, waited my term through proper channels, came to America, and back in 2010, I became a very proud American citizen. So I am not doing this to... So, just for the record, I'm not doing this to get my green card. I started speaking publicly after I became an American citizen. Now, why did I do that? Because when I became an American citizen, officially now I'm American. So, I'm a free woman. I have the First Amendment, so I can say whatever I want to say. Well, unfortunately, that's not the case anymore. We are facing a very serious issue called Islamization. They are turning our country into Islamic country. I'm not free to say what I say. Last 2.5 years of speaking out publicly have earned me 9 fatwas, also known as bounties. They are willing to pay for me to be killed, so I can't speak out anymore. I went to police, FBI, they're not going to do anything for me. That's right. All I hear is, why don't you stop saying things you're saying? So I guess we don't have a First Amendment anymore. With that being said, biggest problem that we have is Islamization. The reason we are not facing it, and the reason we don't have a solution to it, is because we are too worried about hurting their feelings. So we go with things like moderate Muslims, radical Muslims. Not all Muslims are bad. No. It has nothing to do with Muslims. It has everything to do with Islam. Islam is what makes Muslims. So if we deal with Islam and Sharia, then if there is someone who wants to continue being a Muslim and continue obeying Sharia, they're more than welcome to do that, but they can't do it in this country, which is a free country. Because under Sharia, you have no control. As a woman, you're half a person. As a man, you still have to obey Muhammad's footsteps. Quran chapter 33, verse 21 says, Muhammad is the perfect example of a man, and you should follow his footsteps. Words of Allah, not mine. If you look into any Islamic country, any of them, even though here in America they will tell you, people like members of CARE will tell you they hijacked Islam. That last terrorists misunderstood Islam. But the question is, how is it that for 1400 years, every single Islamic country got it wrong? Then who got it right? Until somebody come out and tell me the exact right words of Allah and what it means, I rather not have it around, because I am dying. I am done hearing about Americans dying in numbers of 20, 30, 50, when there's only one Muslim being blown up. So we're losing Americans to all of those who got Islam wrong. To this moment, from March 2013 to March 2017, based on the record of Islamic Republic of Iran's registered office, over 178,000 girls were registered as brides under age of 15. And over 980,000 were registered between 15 and 18. If anybody wants to say child bride doesn't exist, well, it does. I'm a former child bride. And it still does. It's not 1400 years ago Muhammad had a 6-year-old wife. No. 2017, there are still Muslim men with child brides. And if you think it's not happening in America, yes it is. Because under Sharia, you don't need a legal system of a country to marry someone. You go to a mosque, and an imam will do the ceremony. And right there and then, she is your wife. We do have honor killings here. We have acid attacks here. And all of them comes from Quran. Again, I don't have enough time to go into details of all the Quran, Hadith, Sunnah. But I do have an upcoming event on Sunday. So if you want to hear more about it, you can, it's 4:30 to 4 to 5:30. Actually, she has all the details if you don't mind asking her. But I will get into more details on Sunday. For today, I just want you to know Islamization is as real as it gets. It is happening. It happened to my motherland. Iran was known as mini America and Middle East until 1979. And 38 years later, they have child brides, they have victims of honor killing, they have women who are forced to wear the hijab, because again, it comes from Quran. There's no such a thing as optional hijab. It's mandatory. Quran says, if you don't wear the hijab, you will be sexually assaulted. So to protect yourself, you wear the hijab. All of that happened to my motherland, so it will happen here unless everybody's willing to, one, hear people like me, hear my story, and then leave here and go tell other people about my story. Let them know real survivors exist, and worse than that, real victims exist, who don't have the chance that I have. They may not be able to get out of the country, they may not be able to get out of their families, so they're either stuck as a slave, sex slave to be exact, or they end up being killed by their husband or father for bringing shame to the family. And I understand, number one priority is to protect America, yes. But beyond that, we gotta get beyond borders and realize human society is suffering from Sharia. Every rule of Sharia goes against human society. Everything they do is against the Declaration of Human Rights. Simple as that. And again, don't take my word for it. Grab a Quran, read it. Go read Hadith. Go look at civil codes and penal codes of every Islamic country. Actually, they are available in English. Online, you can look it up. Islamic Republic of Iran Civil Code, where it does say the age of majority for girl is 9. It literally says it on Civil Code. And it does say, if a male guardian decides to marry her off before age of 9, it is proper. So it doesn't even have to be 9. There is no age of marriage. You can marry an infant, you just can't consummate the marriage until she's 9, because that's what the perfect example of Islam Muhammad did. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, please stop referring to it as anything but Islam. Problem is Islam. And if you're not willing to call it what it is, as I heard, if you don't know your enemy, you can't fight your enemy. Right now, our number one enemy is Islam. I understand the separation between left and right. I get it. But that's not our number one priority. Priority is to call Islam, stand up and talk, speak out for the victims. Give them voice because they don't have a voice. That's what I do. I tell my story so you would know there is still a little Aynaz Cyrus left in Iran who might be married off tomorrow at age 9, 10, 7, I don't know, whenever daddy decides to. Thank you.
Yes, in your opinion, what is the fascination that the American left has with Islam, the sympathy they seem to have with them?
They don't have a sympathy with Islam. The agenda of left is to burn America down as we know it and build their delusional utopia. What's the best way to burn America down? Sharia.
Up and back.
How do you feel about Sharia courts being established in Western countries? If I take a look at England, which has a dual court system.
Well, basically how I feel about it is that not enough Western people are taking their country serious, and not enough people know the laws of their land, because there's an easy way to stop it from happening, but I guess not enough people care to stand up and take action to stop it.
Okay, over here. Yes.
Two questions, and thank you for your comments. First, have you encountered any communities or groups of Muslim Americans who are willing to modernize and accept our values of freedom as opposed to what you've been accurately describing? And number two, do you feel any different, or has your life changed in any way from the Obama era to the Trump era?
First question, yes, I have. But the problem is, by definition, we can't call them a Muslim community. Because in Quran says, if you try to change a single word of a law, you're not a Muslim and you're punishable by death. They are self-proclaimed Muslims, but they're not really Muslim. And that's why every single one of them have bounties on their head, because they're trying to change what is. And the second question, yes, I do. At least the difference is doors are closed to Muslim Brotherhood since Trump took office. That's the best news about it.
Tony?
I just wanted to say thank you for what you're doing. And please don't be afraid to speak out. Continue speaking out. We need people like you in this country to say this stuff. Well, I have not experienced anything you have. However, I sit on the finance committee for the town of Billerica, and the chairman of the Democratic Town Committee and his wife came after me and tried to have me removed, and every time I'm up for reappointment, they come after me because I posted. Exactly what you just said to this group now, all the time, to try to warn people in our town. And so I don't back down, and I'm asking you not to back down either. Please don't. We need people like you.
Any other questions? Dan?
We don't have our normal agenda because we have a substitute here. Do you have
Email or contact?
do you have a
website
social
information?
media system?
Yes, the best way to get either in touch with me or watch my videos or read my pieces is to go to liveuptofreedom.com.
Live up to.
Freedom.com.
Should write it on the board from the very right.
He's gonna mark it.
Good. Any other questions? Let's take some over here.
A very, very moving statement and story, and I applaud your courage and you're willing to go forward with it. So I think there is a lot of so-called dialogue going on in some towns, as this gentleman up here spoke about Islam, and I think a lot of Americans are trying to figure out what actually is going on in that sphere called Islam. I attended a forum in my own town probably maybe 2-3 months ago, and it was sponsored by a group of Muslims in the town that were trying to demonstrate that they were wanted to familiarize people with what their position was. Now they were Sunni, they're Sunni Muslims. I don't know how significant it is, whether Shiite versus Sunni, is that how it is? But one woman who spoke was a lifelong Muslim who grew up in Weymouth and attended Weymouth High School, and was a cheerleader on the team and everything else. And she was the one that get out and said, she's the one that made the statement, a very tearful, emotional one, that my religion is being hijacked. And she says, we are not about killing people, we're not about this, we're good Americans and all this. So I'm trying to get wrap around, and I'm not denying anything you say, I believe that. When she says that, is she misdirected about her own understanding of Islam, or is she lying to me? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, honestly, it could be possibly either.
Okay.
I can't tell you exactly, but I do know over 70% of Muslims in America have never actually read the Quran.
Okay.
They haven't. So it could be that she doesn't know what she's talking about, but even the basics, knowing the basic of Islam as a Muslim woman, you should have a problem with it.
Okay.
This lady over here has.
Thank you.
I just bought a book called My Name is Malala for my granddaughter because she's already learning about Islam, and I'm not sure they're not teaching what you just said, you know. So that's one indoctrination that is going on in our public schools. This is a private school, however, in D.C. And I'm wondering where do you get your support? For instance, Linda Sessor, isn't Sessor the one that speaks at the women's movement? I mean, I hear her and I say, how do women who know about freedom can have her lead their movement? And are you trying to establish like a movement of your own? You know, where do you get your support? Because it's very hard to do what you're doing.
I'm not starting a movement, no. I think I'm just doing my duty as a human. That's all I'm doing.
Do you try to go to colleges?
I do. They normally don't want me there. They turn me down. But as far as the question about Linda Sarsour, unfortunately the problem is, I'm not saying everyone, but most of people in America, they are born into freedom and they never have an explanation of what is freedom. So they have this misconception of freedom. They reach a level where, okay, I had all the freedom, now what do I do? Let me just join someone else who has no clue of what she's talking about and just fit into something that is more productive than me sitting at home and going through my Facebook. They just reach that level.
Okay, one last question.
So, you said that there were 9 fatwas issued against you, and I assume that's like order to kill you.
2 of them isn't to kill, 2 of them is from Supreme Leader of Islamic Republic of Iran for me to be taken back to Iran and stand trial. But the rest of them are killers.
All right, so you went to the police and the FBI. Are there identifiable people for them to go after? The police or FBI? Individuals?
Well, the thing is, they won't do anything about it because unless they come knocking at my door or actually get me, there is nothing they can do about it. As far as people, well, yeah, Supreme Leader of Islamic Republic of Iran, but what is FBI is going to do to him?
Okay, thank you, Annie.
You're watching Worldview 2, built on the 35 years of Worldview books, documentaries, research, high-profile interviews, and the radio and television broadcasts of Brannon Howse.
The storm hits. The power's out. The stores are empty. Grocery shelves cleared in hours. And now you're staring into an empty pantry, wondering how you're going to feed your family. It doesn't have to be that way. Worldview Store offers premium emergency freeze-dried food, real meals packed with nutrition, ready when you need them most.